Mississippi State football with head coach Emory Bellard and the voice of the Bulldogs, Jack Crystal. The Emory Bellard Show is brought to you by Bland Foods, the Mobay Chemical Company, Coors, Steel Chainsaws, the Coca-Cola bottler in your area, and by the Mississippi Farm Bureau. And now, Jack Crystal.
The 81st renewal of the Mississippi State Ole Miss football series was played in the Mississippi Memorial Stadium in Jackson. The game was won by the Ole Miss Rebels. Rebels 24, Bulldogs 3. We'll look at the highlights with Coach Emory Bellard in just a moment. The battle for the Golden Egg was seen by more than 50,000 spectators at the Mississippi Memorial Stadium and nationwide. Because of a television commitment and because of the TV, we had an early starting time, 11:15 in the morning, so we had a little breakfast in the capital city, and the football game, of course, was won by Ole Miss, as we said, 24-3. The Rebels played extremely well in all facets of their football game, put together a nice game plan and carried it out and carried off the victory. And Coach, it's always disappointing, as you've expressed many times, when you don't win a football game, and obviously this ball game, so meaningful to so many people, makes it even more disappointing, but nevertheless, we played the ball game, and it'll be in the record book 24-3.
Well, yeah, nothing's going to change that. And certainly we had 60 minutes of opportunity to change it, but we didn't do a whole heck of a lot about it. Some things occur in this game sometimes that are mysteries to me. One of them was our response to this particular football game. We made no response. I don't think we've gone into a football game this year when the bell rang at the outset of the game that we didn't answer the bell and jump out there and go at it aggressively, enthusiastically, and very competitively. But we were flat as a pancake in this football game. We were listless. We had no punch. We had no enthusiasm. And we played accordingly. And consequently, Ole Miss stayed about a half a step in front, which is usually the case whenever you're in that emotional state of mind. And it was disappointing. It was frustrating. I know it is to the players too. But in the whys or the wherefores, like always, I assume the responsibility for that. But we didn't respond. I think we were well prepared mechanically for the football game. We just didn't play with any kind of enthusiasm, and a lot of times that's as important as the mechanical aspect of it. And the disappointing thing was that we could never come in and make any kind of play that would cause some motivating force to get us stirred up and get us going. We had a little flurry there in the third quarter where we played good defense for about 3 series. And we moved the football down the football field, got a field goal out of it, didn't get the touchdown. But we got a score, let them run a kickoff back, and sort of seemed like everything went kaput again. But Ole Miss played hard, they played well, they deserved the win, and I congratulate Coach Brewer and his staff on doing a good job of preparation, and the Ole Miss football team for the aggressive manner in which they executed. We'll take a look at those first half highlights here in just a second, Jack.
Ole Miss, of course, was the home team, and will be wearing the red jerseys with the blue hats. Mississippi State, as the visitors, wore the white jerseys, and we had our maroon hats on and maroon trousers. You'll see that. If you're not happening to be watching it in color, of course, Mississippi State in the white shirts and Ole Miss in the dark shirts. Yeah. And Ole Miss won the toss.
They got the toss, and we had our 6 elected captains plus the seniors on this year's football team that represented us. Billy Fitzgerald, one of our young men, is a senior, represented us, was a spokesman at Ole Miss won the toss. We kicked it out of the end zone, and they got the ball in play at the 30, and they went right to work with a sprint-out control game, and they executed it very well, and they marched right down the football field, along with an occasional run, but by and large, it was either a sprint-out or a drop-roll type of pass that was being completed with great consistency. And I think they were something like 10 or 14 in the first half. We did a little better in the second half, but they were able to put together completion after completion in the early stages of this game. It went a while before there was an incompletion.
We did get an intercept.
I think this was the first incompletion right there, Kirby Jackson making the play. And here we get pressure. Aaron Pearson, who played a good football game, Aaron made 11 unassisted tackles. Got pressure in, and then Kirby Jackson makes the interception. And so we do get the football about on our own 7-yard line. The first play, Kenny Rogers gets 3 or 4 yards. We didn't have much going at the line of scrimmage, I didn't think. We got a little quick screen out to Mikell Williams, and Mikell takes it for about a 28-yard gain or something like that effect. Anyhow, we bring it out of that end of the football field, but facing a third down situation. Now, this is not the third down play. This is the play that set up the situation.
The 3rd and 1 here.
Yeah, this is 3rd and 1. And as you can see, the nose guard for Ole Miss comes off. Well, that's your linebacker, rather. I'm mistaken there. Linebacker comes off, makes the play. And so we fall short of the first down, which we did on about 4 different occasions in this game. Failed to make 3rd down and 1. And Ole Miss comes right back, and they take this one, and they put it in the end zone.
Right, this was the only touchdown of the first half, and they actually went 78 yards on the drive in 6 plays. This, again, the controlling passing game the coach had reference to, and Rogers takes it out in front of our bench, and we're assessed a 15-yard penalty for a personal foul, which moves it down to our 45-yard line. And the Rebels hit the long bomb here as Kent Austin drops it right on the money.
They ran an out and up here. Kirby Jackson, who you see so far behind there, Kirby slipped and fell down. And I say that in his defense. He wasn't beaten that badly. But he did fall, and when he fell, of course, they were able to really get some open country in front of him. But the ball carried to 1 foot, and they drove it on in there for the touchdown. And this is Orlando Lundy throwing complete to Art Mordecai. Art made a real fine catch there. Art competed well all season. I'm very proud of Art. And this is Mikell Williams getting some blocking up front. Gets some consistent yardage. And Orlando on the option play comes outside, gets a crease. And so we have the football out to midfield, and we moved it pretty good, and we had plays. You know, we could never establish consistency. This is Kenny Rogers taking the pitch from Orlando and picks up 5 yards on the outside on the option play. So we got a 2nd down 5.
We had a little screen here, Coach, and Mikell lost his footing, and although he makes the reception, had some open area in front of him. And
this was a 3rd down.
Right.
3rd down about 2 or 3 situation. And had he caught it, I don't think there'd been any problem making the 1st down. And of course, that's what we called it, for 1st down yardage. And I think that he would have very well made that and kept the drive alive, but he didn't. We get a short punt, kicking from deep down there. We get a short punt, they fair catch it and get good, reasonable field position, considering the fact that we were kicking the football from the 50-yard line. And so they get the football and drive it back up the football field. And,
we do a pretty good job defensively at this point. We get to Kent Austin, number 5, the fine Ole Miss quarterback. Pat Stoltz has the first shot at him and twists him around about 360 degrees. And then he gets some defensive help and actually results in the loss of about 7 yards on the play. Derek Richardson coming over. So we've sort of put got a penalty on that.
Penalty on that one right there. We knocked the ball loose and they recover. Ole Miss put together about 3 real long drives in the first half. 2 of them resulted in missed field goals, and 1 of them in the touchdown. But we did force them to have to go to the field goal on a couple of occasions, but they'd moved the football substantially, a substantial distance to get it down into that field goal range. And Kenny Rogers taking the pitch, getting very little yardage. We get completion out to Mikell again on a little screen type of play. And again, he picks up about 10 yards and a first down. So we're trying to get the football back out of our end of the field. And we go
Run through this.
run through. We had Elmer behind the man. We needed to get the football over a little bit. Thought Orlando did a pretty good job in the first half. We changed Don Smith in there, hoping we'd get some kind of spark going. Not because Orlando was responsible for the poor team performance that we had in the first half, because he wasn't. He was just, everybody was responsible.
At the halftime intermission, Ole Miss led 7-0 in the football game, and as Coach Bellard pointed out a few moments ago, the Rebels had put together 3 relatively long drives with 3 scoring opportunities and missed a pair of field goal opportunities. By virtue of controlling the football, Ole Miss had it a little better than 18 minutes in the first half, and we had it about 11 and a half. It was a 7-0 ball game nevertheless, and we were very much in it, Coach, and as you said at the top of the show, we began to put a few things together in the third quarter.
Well, we were very fortunate, really, going in at halftime that we were down only 7 points. It could very well have been 13, could have been as high as 21, too. But our defense did stop them once they got down there, but they did put together 3 long drives. We were fortunate to have them sitting with only a 7-point lead. And I was very concerned, though, because we had no spark. And football is a game that you just can't play without emotion. And, you know, there's too much involved in it. And we were playing totally without any emotion. But we did come back in the second half, and we did have a little flurry there in the third quarter. And all the things that we were trying to get going were sort of nullified and put to rest whenever they returned the kickoff for a touchdown. It sort of took the spizzerinctum out of us and what little that we had expressed. And I'm not belittling players, don't misunderstand me. I'm just talking about we played without enthusiasm, and which is a total mystery. And but they did put out whatever fire existed, I thought, whenever they ran that kickoff back. We received the second half kickoff, and Rodney Peters, a freshman running back out of Atlanta, makes a nice return. Gets us off to a good start. You know, gets the ball out past the 35-yard line, up around the 38, and so we start the operation there. We put Don Smith in to start the second half, see if, you know, not that Orlando was responsible for us not playing well in the first half, because he wasn't. But just to get a change of pace in there, maybe Don could bring a spark back to us. And we go in and we get a pretty decent drive started on the initial possession. It ends up like so many of our possessions did the other day, to where we make, not necessarily make mistakes, where we just didn't block anybody, didn't execute, and didn't get first down yardage. Here Don is making a bad pitch on the option play. Looked like the defensive end totally surprised him. We did come back, though, and catch John Lowe in there for first down yardage. That was off of a situation, it was about a third down and 17. And
And so the season comes to a close for the Mississippi State Bulldogs and the Ole Miss Rebels, with Ole Miss winning the possession of the Golden Egg for the next 365 days. Coach Bellard, you always hate to see a season come to a conclusion because it is, as you said, an emotional thing, and certainly so many people get wrapped up in it and enjoy it so thoroughly. And obviously there are always peaks and valleys in everything that you try to undertake. But I guess the thing that stands out most in my mind, maybe it's showing my age or something of that nature, but it's the departing seniors, the youngsters who have completed their eligibility and have made their contribution to our program. And you really hate to see those guys wrap up their careers because you've enjoyed watching them perform for so many years and making that commitment and contribution to the ball club. Really hate to see the seniors have to wrap up their season.
Yeah, we'll miss them in a lot of ways, Jack. And but hopefully they'll move on to productive lives and be the kind of men that they ought to be, and become the kind of citizens they should be, and contribute to the state of Mississippi in the manner in which we hope they will. But fellows like Art Mordecai, who's completing his eligibility as a split receiver, Mikael Williams, a fullback, Joe Estee, an offensive tackle, Frank Harbin, an offensive tackle, Danny Sanders, an offensive guard, and Todd Kirkland, an offensive center. All of those fellows finishing up.
Corwin Aldridge, of course.
Corwin Aldridge at the tight end position. Tom Nichols, strong safety. I think Tom has been Billy Fitzgerald, only seniors that we have on our defensive squad. Tom was in a starting capacity, and Billy has been in a backup capacity for a couple of years.
Of course, Herman Green might possibly be able to come back.
Herman can come back, and if he elects to, and I'm just assuming at this point in time that he probably will, because he needs going to need another year toward his engineering degree anyhow. But they're a great bunch of young guys. We've got a great bunch of fellows that are going to be coming back.
Sure have, Coach.
And we're going to get right to work with them. I've been very proud of this football team. I've been felt very close to them. I like them. And it was frustrating as the devil yesterday when I could see them in that frame of mind. And I wanted so desperately to try to say something to help them. And in that particular case, sometimes words don't get the job done for some reason. And but nonetheless, as I said, I think they've answered the bell every time we've teed it up this fall. Yesterday we didn't answer it quite as well as we had, but we're going to go to work. They're going to be a good football team, and we're going to see to it.
And Coach, we'll obviously look forward to the 1985 season to work with you and say we did thoroughly enjoy our association with you here on the program. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being with us throughout the season and enjoying the Emory Bellard Show. Do make plans to follow the Bulldogs and continue to give us your support in the coming years.
The Emory Bellard Show has been brought to you by Bryan Foods, the Mobay Chemical Company, Coors Beer, Steel Chainsaws, the Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and by the Mississippi Farm Bureau.